It's live.
Now it's live. This- oh, good Lord. Hey, you guys. This is your girl, Coach Ebony Nicole, and we are finally on for our next episode. I like to call it for Becoming Bold in Your Storytelling, the Praying Wife in Waiting edition. I am your girl, Coach Ebony Nicole. I said that already. I just got a little flustered throat, so forgive me. I'm the writing coach to clergy consultants as well as other coaches in which I help them to produce the book within. I have with me today one of the most amazing women that I know,
Oh,
Miss Sierra Hilaire. You guys, when I tell y'all she has been a gift to me, I really, really believe it and really, really, really mean it. So I want to for all of you to meet her, get to know her. As a matter of fact, she's gonna drop all of her social media information later. I need you. I'm instructing you to follow her, okay? Because she's going to pour into you and you'll be like, this is what I've been needing because she's doing it to me and this is what I be saying. So without further ado, Miss Sierra Hilaire, I want you to tell everybody who you are and a little bit about your chapter.
all righty. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. It is such a blessing and honor to be on this journey with you and the other amazing co-authors. I've been watching your show and it has been so phenomenal. The wisdom and the nuggets that the other women have came on and shared. So I'm just honored and excited. But my name is Sierra Hilaire, like Ebony said. I am first a wife of 15 years. I am a
Mm.
mother. Together, my husband and I, we have 4 children. We have 3 girls and 1 boy who's my little prince. And on top of that, I am a certified self-care strategist. And pretty much my mission is to see women activated, to be authentic, balanced, and free, to
Mm.
relentlessly, y'all hear that word?
Relentlessly.
Relentlessly
Come on here.
pursue their purpose. And together, my husband and I, we are the CEOs and founders of a nonprofit 501c3 organization called Divine Potential Services. And pretty much our mission through that organization is to restore families and empower change. And so, like I said, I'm just excited to be one of the co-authors that God saw fit to be a
Amen.
part of this project.
Amen.
The name of my chapter is called The Balancing Act, Strategy
Yes.
on Finding Balance in Your Marriage. And
Yep.
so in that chapter, I just kind of pour out a little bit about my story with struggling, to be honest, with finding a healthy balance. See, because
Mm-hmm,
there's a
mm-hmm.
difference.
Yeah,
You know,
hello, somebody.
um, right? With
Yep.
being a wife, with being an entrepreneur, and just
Mm-hmm.
doing the things that God called me to do. It took me a while through trial and error, a lot of them, to really find a happy and a healthy balance in my life. And so in that chapter, I just kind of share some tips and some strategies and also my story, what really
Yep.
helped me understand the importance and the power of having balance in your life if you're going to do
Yeah.
what God called you to do. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Like when you shared, because okay, 'cause of course we can't get too much in the chapter, but when
Right.
you shared how you were sleeping, God revealed something to you. I'm like, what? Lord, you waking people out. She trying to get
Uh,
rest, Father. Let her get her rest. Okay. What would you
listen.
say for is the you said you had a lot of trial and error. So you became married and then you had to discover how to balance those things.
Correct.
What would you say for a woman who is not yet married, how she can find balance? Like, what are some, well, so you do give some tips in your chapter, but what's one thing she could do now to find that balance? And why is that important?
Right. So, yeah, for me, the trials and error came because number one, I was a young mom and wife. My husband and I, we started our family very early. I was 15 when I had our first daughter, and I was 19 when we got married. So
Mm.
I didn't have a lot of time to pretty much learn the skills of what it means to live a balanced life, to find
Yeah.
myself. You know, that's so important in our pursuit of balancing our lives, is finding ourselves, being connected to ourselves, being connected to our source. So that
Yes.
would be
Yes.
number one tip that I would give a single woman. Like, build that relationship with God. Get to know your likes, your dislikes, your
Yep.
triggers, the
Yep.
things that interest you, the things that turn you off. You got to
Yep.
build a relationship not only with God, but yourself, because
That's
that's the
right.
only way you're going to be able to really have a healthy balance in marriage with somebody else. So that would be my biggest takeaway. And then when you develop a relationship with yourself, then you will know how to prioritize things that are important to you. So when you
Mm-hmm,
come into
mm-hmm.
a relationship, now you're married, you understand that this relationship is important to me. So I have to
Yeah.
make it a priority, as long as on top of making myself a priority, because
That's
that's
right.
what self-care is about.
It's so self-care that you're an expert. You're a guru on this. When it comes to being, now this book is for single women. That's what it's geared towards. But as I got into these chapters, I'm like, any praying woman,
Yeah.
married, engaged, waiting, a widow, there is a healing that is needed for us all, and you can get it within the pages of this book.
Right.
So you mentioned self care. What does that look like for Sierra? Because we're just off the heels of your retreat, actually, and which was so
Yeah.
awesome. Marianne is on here, so she was one. Actually, quite a few of the women that's on here now that are watching the stream attended your event. So, what does that look like for you? What does self care look like for you? And is that being selfish? Because some women, put their family before themselves, and they burn out, and they don't know that they have to take care of themselves. So what does that look like for you, and why is that important for every woman?
Wow. So yes, we actually did finish not too long ago with my retreat. It was actually a
Yep.
restoration retreat, and the theme was
Yep.
realign. And that was awesome.
I did
Awesome.
nothing
Shout
that weekend. You said don't do
out.
anything. I did nothing but relax. I did nothing that
Yes.
weekend.
Shout out to all the ladies who attended and
Yes.
really took the time intentionally to
Yep.
set that weekend apart to really just make it all about them. But first, I want to answer your question that self care is definitely not selfish. It is actually
Yep.
your divine responsibility.
There you go. Do you
Because,
ladies hear that? Your divine
yeah,
responsibility to take care of yourself. Come on,
yeah,
Lord.
yes, self care, number one, is your divine responsibility, because we cannot pour out from an empty cup. And so
That
self
part.
care for me looks like being able to balance myself, my emotions, my relationship with God, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my children, my clients, all of that without losing me in the process.
Mm, that's a lot. That is a
Yeah.
lot. Because even as a single woman, and God has given me a couple more business ideas, I'm like, okay, Lord, well, let's go with
Wow.
this additional stream. I'm all for
So,
it. And there's just like they're easy to implement. And I'm
yeah.
like, that's all I got to do. I just put this creativity to work, and this creates on the stream. Let's roll. So as a
Yeah.
single woman, I'm learning to balance my life and my businesses. How would you suggest for me and other single women? How do we then add on marriage? And then you have women who are single with children. How do they then add on to their pile? Not pile in a bad way, but on their I would say responsibilities, marriage. So for me, it's business and my life. Then it's going to be children and marriage. And then you got some women who are balancing their life, their business, and children. How do you find that balance to then add on a husband so that he's not feeling neglected, and everything else that you're used to balancing now has to make room for this union.
Right, right. That's a good question. And for me, it's just a matter of being laser focused. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is really having a clear mission and vision of my life and for my business. And anything that does not align with that, it's not a priority to me. And I
All right.
don't mean to say that in
Okay.
a arrogant type of way,
Mhm.
but if
No,
it doesn't align, it doesn't get my time.
that's
It's just as
come
simple
on.
as
That's
that.
a whole word. If it does not align, does not get your time. Like that is so profound because
Yeah,
we can take on so many things that
right,
we think we need to be a part of, but if it burns you out, then maybe you need to reevaluate what it is you're carrying, because he
right,
said his gifts come without repentance. So you're not going to take on something and then you regret doing it.
right,
So when you said that, it's like, oh, okay. So let me see, does this line up, like what you said, with my
right,
vision and mission for my life? I
right,
have the vision and mission for my business and the vision and mission for my life. And that is a beautiful thing to have, because you
right.
get to see what doesn't belong. And you know
That,
what? You're okay with letting it go, because it's like, oh, that doesn't, it's like a puzzle.
yeah,
If somebody just take two different puzzles and dump them on the table and say, figure it out, well, as you go along in your building, you can discard those pieces that
come on
doesn't
now.
fit, that does
Come
not belong easily, because you're like, well, this don't even fit. This don't go along at all.
right.
So yeah,
And see,
absolutely.
yeah. And see, in the beginning, I had to learn the difference of being stressed and stretched. Have you heard of those
Tell us the
words?
difference between that stretch and stress.
Right. Stressed was when I was either taking on too much or taking on things that weren't aligned with my purpose. So God was not giving
Mm.
me the grace to carry it. Then
Ooh,
there were seasons of my life where God was stretching me into something deeper, into something more. He was expanding, enlarging my territory. It was still in alignment with the vision, with the mission, but it was stretching me because it was taking me
yeah,
into new levels, into
yeah,
new
yeah,
realms. So it may require me to get up a little earlier. It may
yep,
require me to go to bed a little earlier. It may
yeah,
require me to exercise a little more because I need the physical stamina to keep up with some stuff. So there's a
yeah.
difference between being stretched and stressed.
And
And it's
stress.
through wisdom that we can discern and know the difference.
And you know what? Because what you're saying, that it makes sense. Because I'm in a
Yeah.
stretching season right now. We
Yeah.
talked about this. I'm in a stretching season. I'm like, I know
Yes,
it's
you
him doing
are.
it, so I'm not gonna pop. I'm not gonna bend. I
Yes,
can
you
bend, but I won't pop. It won't break. And it's like, Lord Jesus, are you done yet? Because
are.
your
Okay.
daughter is your daughter don't had enough. But it's all for His glory. So go ahead, Lord. Even though when I be like, Lord, is it time for this stretching to be done? You're like, no. Okay, well, keep going. But I noticed,
Yes.
like, even when I was working full time at RG&E, I love the people there. My supervisors, they're very supportive. My co-workers, I love them. But the job was so stressful. And then when I left, it was like a whole weight just lifted off my
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I knew when it's time to go, and it wasn't with my purpose, because the money no longer mattered. I didn't care about the money.
Right.
It no longer
Right.
mattered to me how I was going to make ends meet, how I was going to do this, how I was going to pay the mortgage, how I was going to, all that was no longer, I didn't care anymore. That's how I knew
Nope.
my time was done there.
Come
And when
on.
God released me to leave, I was like, word, it's about time, Lord. I had no worries. And so I say that because, if you are in a, for those who are listening and they may see it later, if you find yourself in a position where you're stressed, not stretched, you might want to check with the Lord and say, is it time that I leave this, or should I stay? Do I still fight and go after this? Or, if I'm supposed to stay, then like you said, he didn't grace you for something. I'm the Lord will
Right.
grace me to get this through this because it's not working. So it's all about
True.
asking him, I'm stressed out, Lord, but are you stretching me? This helped me understand a difference as well. And
Right.
be able to discern if he's taking me to a new level or if I need to get off this level, but I'm too stubborn to move.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that when we are in that season of being stretched, whether it's something new and God is transitioning you like he did for you in that season of moving you off of your job, and
Mm-hmm.
if we aren't obedient and if we don't move in the flow of the Holy Spirit, he will allow the frustration to come. We will
Yep.
begin to get very
Yep.
annoyed and
Yep.
uncomfortable because we no longer fit into a space that he's
Mm-hmm.
not aligning us with his, that's no longer aligning with his will. That's what I'm trying to
Right.
say. And so for
Yep.
me, true balance is always starts from the inside out. But most
Yeah.
importantly, just always being in the will of God. I'm a
Yep.
very reflective person. I always look back on the things that I've done, the things that I'm currently doing, the things that
Yeah.
I have planned ahead, just to make sure that I am doing things that are in alignment with the will of God, because
Yes.
that's where the
Yes.
peace is, because my
Yep.
peace is priceless. That's
That's
where the
right.
balance is. And I know that my home won't be perfect, my children won't
Yeah.
be perfect, my marriage won't be perfect, but we'll
Yeah.
be in agreement. So there won't be
Yes.
no chaos and confusion. And so for me, those are signs that you are in alignment with the will of God. And so when you are in alignment with the will of God, you don't have to try to figure out if I'm living a balanced life, because it won't be perfect, but you will be able to prioritize what's most important to you. And we got to just stay connected to our source.
That's right. That's right. And you said, okay, so when you said that you got to make sure you're connected to your source, right? And you got to stay in the will of God. You mentioned that if you're not in the will of God, there will be confusion and chaos. That's a sign that you're not in the will of him. Did I hear that correctly?
It could possibly be a sign that you're not in the will of God, or it's time to move on to something else. There's something else. There's another level. There's something else you need to be doing. And so it's
Okay.
like God will allow frustration and chaos to come sometimes. That's not all the time. But I know
Mm-hmm.
when I look back over my own life, through my own experiences, those were signs for me where I would get
Okay.
frustrated and annoyed because God's grace was no longer there. And so I either needed to do something different, or it was just time to
Mm-hmm.
leave it alone altogether. And so that's where creativity comes in. That's where innovation comes in. And all of those things are components in order to balance. So it's a constant letting go of the old, embracing the new.
Yeah.
Letting go of the old, embracing the new.
And what was that like for you to let go of the old and embrace the new? What did that look like for you? Because this is my thing. People can tell us, and this is one of the things about writing this book is the women are sharing their story and giving strategies on how to do something or what to do, and then following up with how to do it. So you're
Right.
saying to just let go. How would a woman or a man, because we do have men that watch, come to a place where they need to let go? How would you recommend? Because everybody can let go differently. Some of us is just, okay, I'm done. And the other ones is like, no, Lord, I'm not letting go of this water. This is my water, God. No, you can't have my water. I'm gonna still drink my water, God, crying and everything. Other people be like, okay, God, I'm done. So how, for those who don't want to let go or don't know how to, what are 2 things that you would recommend they do to let go of this water that they're so hung up on? And that this water could be emotional things, a work, a place they don't want to leave. God is saying, I'm going to a larger territory. That means leaving the Florida, leaving New York, and moving to California. And you're like, well, Lord, I got my mama, I got my kids, I got my business here, I got this, I got that. Give him a list of reasons why you can't. But he's saying, if you let go of that water, I have a gallon for you over here. So what's 1 or 2 things that you would recommend that someone could do? And I'm asking for them, but for me too, because I want to make sure
Right.
that now I'm okay with letting stuff go. But there might come a time where God say, put that water down. I'm like, okay. And then I pick it back up because I still want to hold on to it. How
Right.
do you do that? How do you do that?
Mm. So I'll try and answer this question from a spiritual and a practical perspective. So spiritually, for me, the process of letting go absolutely requires faith.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my faith game has to be that God knows what's best for me, for my
Yes.
business, for my family at all times. And
Mm-hmm,
so if
mm-hmm.
he's the one in the driver's seat and I'm the passenger, I have to have the faith to let go of whatever I need to let go when he says that it's time.
Yeah.
So from a
Yeah.
spiritual perspective, it just goes back to something so basic, which is our faith and trusting that God's plan for you is perfect.
That's
Now,
right. Amen.
sometimes getting to that plan, the process ain't always perfect or pretty, but we still trust it anyway.
Yeah.
And then from a practical perspective, it goes back to, like I said, your mission and your vision. What are your values? When you assess your values, the things that matter to you, where you see yourself, and when you take inventory of everything that is around you, every person that is around you, is that aligning with you becoming your best self?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
from there, you can make decisions to say, okay, maybe I need to make some adjustments here.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do something differently over there. Maybe I need to let something go over here and embrace
Mm-hmm.
something new over there. So it's just all about keeping an eye on the things that matter to you so you can prioritize those things in your life and know what to let go of, know what to hold on to.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I'm thinking while you're saying that, as an author, write it down. It would make sense to write
That's
it
it.
down, make a two take a 2 sheets of paper, things that matter and things that do not. And actually, first I would say write down
Right.
everything that you do think matters. And then you have
Yep.
to sit with those things for a while and really think about if they do or if they don't. And then you write them down.
Right.
Here's my list of everything that I think matters. And here's my list of things
Yep.
that actually do. And here's a list of things that do not. And what does not
Yep.
matter, that's where you should, maybe pray about asking God to let you let those things go
Come on
and help
now.
you say, Lord, help me let this go. You said these are the things that I should be concerned about, but I'm also concerned about this over here. Help me let this go because it's not stretching me, it's stressing me.
Right.
So that could be that's something you guys can do or we can do is to write it down. If you feel like you're not
Absolutely.
sure, just if you see it, it gives you, because sometimes you can think of something up here, but when we actually see it, it's completely different. It's like, oh, now it's real because I thought about it. And if we don't see our thoughts, that's one thing. But when you see your thoughts, it's real. Like this is
Right.
real. This is happening. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see.
Yeah.
We got Rhonda says self-worth is valuable. It is very much valuable. Regine
Yeah.
said self-care is your divine responsibility. Yes, it is. It is.
Yes, it is.
That
And
is.
just to piggyback on what you were saying, like, I am a queen of my calendar. Like, I schedule
Everything.
everything from me going to the grocery store,
Yep.
from my car needing to be washed,
Yep.
from my laundry to be washed. Like everything is on the calendar. So that's like my number one tip when it
Yeah.
comes to prioritizing and managing and balancing all of the moving parts that we have in our life, because we shouldn't keep all of that stuff in our head. So between writing things down,
Yeah.
utilizing tools to help us live an organized life, those are all some very important components in order to maintain in our balance. Because my mind, I like to say it now, I didn't realize, how important my mental health was. And it's not
Yeah.
a coincidence that we're talking about balance with July being minority mental health awareness month,
Oh,
and it wasn't,
yes.
I hit rock bottom that I
Mm.
realized how important my mental health was. And so
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
approach to keeping, making sure that I'm healthy mentally is through self-care. And so
Yeah.
I utilize different strategies and tools and things like that to help me keep a clutter-free mind, so that can be a
Yes.
place where I'm hearing from God, where I'm
Yep.
able to connect in the spirit realm, where I'm
Yeah.
able to get quiet and process my thoughts and bring clarity to
Yeah.
my life and to those around me. So it's just so many things that we can do and tools that we can utilize to live a more balanced life. But man, our mental health
It's
has to
important.
be
It's important.
priority. Like, it's so important. I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing for me. One of the biggest takeaways that I want our readers to take away when they read my chapter, just how much I emphasize prioritizing and taking care of yourself,
Hmm. Hmm.
spending time with you, you know,
Yeah.
um scheduling things so you can
Yep.
live a balanced life. So that's like my biggest takeaway.
Schedule, schedule, schedule. I held up my notebook. I stay with notebooks.
Yes, your
Okay. I'm
it
like,
the
I'm,
screen was
I'm,
freezing.
I'm a notebook. Oh, my notebooks. I am a notebook junkie. I can't. I just do. But I write down a lot of things I have to do, and I look at people like, oh, can you meet for this or can we talk? Let me check my calendar, because if I don't, in order for, and if I agree to do something, I have to immediately put it into my calendar, because if I don't, I'll forget. I'll forget because there's so much
Absolutely.
going on, and like you said, to have make sure my mind isn't cluttered, because if I don't want
Right.
God to have to get through everything else I'm trying to work on. So that
Right.
is a great point. It's not like God can't get through. He can get through, but you want to make it so that you are in a place where your head is not foggy. It's clear as day what the Lord is trying to
Right.
say to you, as opposed to it
Right.
being filtered through all of your emotions, all of these things that you're facing. Just
Yeah.
give God that clarity, and He can come right on down, give you that Shekinah glory straight up, instead of having it filtered. Because then you're like, wait, was that God? Was that? I don't know if that was God. Maybe it's that because I was upset. Maybe that was me saying that because I'm upset. But no, you
Yeah.
have to get that, because so that you can know that it's God for sure. Absolutely.
Right. And that's what it means to be centered. If we
Mhm.
could just sum it up in one word, that's really what it means to be centered. When you are
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
stable place mentally, not
Yeah.
saying that everything in your life is all the way perfect, but when you can mentally just keep yourself in a centered place, everything else
Yes.
flows there.
And how would you say, because we got a little bit more time, how do you center? How would one center his or herself? Because me, I'm more like,
Child.
I just sit there and just be like, and
Yeah.
I'll be that way. Sometimes I'll fall asleep,
Yeah.
or sometimes I'm just listening, and I'm like, Lord, I need you to talk. Just I don't care what you say, Lord. Just whew, talk to me and help me. And
Yeah.
I kind of, it's like meditation. Well, it is meditation pretty much. I'm just
Yeah.
moving everything, all of those things that have been weighing on me from the day or weeks ago, whatever. And sometimes stuff will just come back to me out of nowhere. And I'm like, I'm about to sit through this emotion. Lord, help me understand where this is coming from. Let me mentally
Right.
understand, not just emotionally react. And I think that
Yes.
part of self-care is understanding and learning where things are coming from. Either it's a thought, whether it's a thought or an emotion, where is it coming from? And for
Right.
me, my self-care is I'm angry about this thing. On the surface, that's what it seems like I'm angry about. But when I sit with my emotions, then I'm realizing, oh, that's not really the real reason that I'm upset. It's a lot deeper than that. And so I can now then express in a more effective manner why I'm angry
Yeah.
or why I'm crying
Yeah.
or why I'm, whatever. If it's a negative emotion, people typically care when you are happy, but they care more when something else, a negative emotion is coming up from you. And then mentally, if your thoughts are not in a healthy manner or in a healthy place, you need to sit with them and ask yourself, why am I thinking like this? And that's all would be certainly a part of your self-care. Marianne said, I
Right.
think it helps to sit in attention. Yep. That's what you're seeking for, needing, and then quiet mind. Yes. Quiet your mind and listen. That's what I love about
Yeah.
the Lord. That's what I love about him. You just sit there and he's more like, okay, now you're quiet. And that's why he wakes people up in the middle of the night, because
Come on
now
now.
you don't have anything going on. Now he's like,
Yep.
I need to talk now. Like, Lord, it's 3 a.m. We can't do this at 8.
And
No, because at
right.
8, you're checking email, you're checking this, you're checking that, you're looking at your calendar for the day. No,
Yep.
3 o'clock, let's talk. So yeah, oh my God. Yeah. Self-care, y'all. I want to encourage everybody, man, woman, and child, to take care of yourself. Because if you're not
Yes.
well, how can you be well for somebody else? It's like being
Right.
sick. Like if you're in a bed sick, you can't really help. Well, you can try to help somebody else, but you
Right.
can't be effective as you want to if something is off kilter, something is off balance. So what I want you to do, Sierra, is tell everybody. Oh wait, Marianne said our God is a jealous God. Yet he said jealousy is my name. That's what he said. I forget what
Come on
scripture that is, but I
now.
remember reading it. He said jealousy is my name. He does desire our undivided attention. Absolutely. And if he doesn't get it, it's a problem. He's going to get it. Whether he's going to get it. But Sierra, I want you to tell everybody where they can connect with you. And I'm encouraging you all to like her page, follow her, follow her, follow her. Go ahead and let them know. Oh, and where they can
I-
purchase your copy of their copy, a signed copy from you of the book.
Okay. Well, first you can connect with me on social media. I am Sierra Hilaire on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also visit my website, which is sierrahilaire.com. So you see my name on the screen, just put a
Yep.
.com on it. And also you will be able to purchase your pre-order signed copy of A Praying Wife in Waiting, that I am so honored and blessed to be a part of such a divine project. And I'm going to keep saying that because this
Glory,
is truly a
glory,
divine project that is going
glory.
to infiltrate and impact
Yes,
lives from the soulish realm. It's not
yes,
just
yes, yes.
content that you're going to read, but it's seeds that are going to be
Yep.
planted in the heart for healing and hope to be restored, to just
Yes.
like, I'm just so excited, from the little bit that I've heard so far, man. Just to God be all the glory. But you
I
can
love it.
find me on media, yes. And you can also visit my website at sierrahilaire.com. And you will also be able to see um, the other things that I have going on my website as well.
Yep.
So I look forward to connecting with you.
You guys, she said it. It's Sierra SierraHilaire.com. You see her name. Just put that space.com. Visit her website. She has a group for women. Tell them about that really quickly. And what's the name of the group? I'm in the group. I forget the name of the group, but what's the name of the group and how they can get connected in that group as well?
So the name of that group is called Self-Care for Survivors. It's a Facebook support group for women, for us to connect, collaborate, and my goal is to share information that inspires women through humor, healing, in hopes of just building community, for us to share our strategies, our stories, our
Yep.
struggles, being a wife, being a mom, and who's also in ministry. And so I think that's what makes the group so unique, because it's threefold: it's
Yep.
motherhood, it's marriage, and it's ministry.
Ooh,
And
it's a lot. It's a
so
lot,
it's
Lord Jesus.
self-care. Yes, it's self-care for survivors
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Marianne, yes, you do need to join the group, ma'am. Join the group. You have all the details. Join. You have the details to follow her on social media. Follow her. You have the details to purchase a pre-ordered signed copy of the book. Do so. You guys, I say this every time I get an opportunity. This book is for praying women who you're in a great place and you just need some guidance. You know for real the posture of your heart. Maybe it's not in a good place and you just need to see and understand that you're not by yourself. Like a lot of these chapters I was reading, I'm like for Denise, I can't wait to chat with her about her chapter because I told her, look, sis, you were all up in my late teens, mid 20s life. Like you just read my whole life. Like it was just amazing. So you get to connect with
Wow.
these different authors, these different stories. It's 19 of us. You may not be able to connect with all 19, but I promise you, I can downright guarantee you are going to find yourself in this book. So I'm encouraging you to pre-order today. No more delays, no more excuses of why you can't do it. Just do it. Okay. Guys, I'm excited. I cannot wait for the launch of this book. These women have been working so hard, and to God be the glory for what he's going to do. The vision is bigger than me. And I'm thankful that he
Yeah.
found me worthy to even be like, okay, daughter, you carry this. And I'm like, okay, team, let's work. let's go. So that's all we got for this episode of Becoming Bold in Your Storytelling, the Praying Wife in Waiting edition. And I'm so thankful for you, for God connecting us so that we can not only build a business relationship, but a friendship as well and a sisterhood. And I thank you so much
Yeah.
for being this evening. If you all could please, I see a few people share this live, please do so. And also just take care of you. Teach yourself how to take care of you. And I remember actually while I'm about to end that, I think I got it. Sierra has a book, 10 Keys to Self-Care. So if you need guidance on how to do that, what that looks like, she has 10 steps to doing that. So that's on her website, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 10 Keys to Self-Care is on her website. So that's what we were talking about tonight. Grab that book, pre-order the anthology, and I'm gonna say get your life. Just get your life, just gather up you and it's like for real, just like not get your life in a bad way, but just get your life in order, get your life some instruction, get your life on another path, get your life however that would mean to you. Just get it. It's yours. You have to live it. So you might as well take care of it.
Amen.
All right. Anything else, Sierra?
I think that's it. I'm just, like I said, blessed to be alongside you and kingdom build with
Glory.
you. Like, I'm just looking forward to the future. I'm embracing our present, but I am looking
Yes.
forward to the future, because this is just the beginning. I just speak much blessings over you, your ministry and
Oh,
business,
thank you. Thank
and
you.
that God would just continue to use you and, prosper you and just
Glory.
open so many doors for you
Thank
that'll
you,
blow your
Jesus.
own mind.
Thank you, Jesus. He said, if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. And if you knock on the door, it will be opened. I said, Lord, so everybody be telling me or has been saying, stay in the hallway and praise God in front of a closed door. But if you didn't knock on the door, how's it gonna open? So it doesn't make sense to praise him in the hallway if you haven't knocked on the door. So I'm knocking on some doors.
That
I'm knocking on some doors.
that part. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again, Sierra. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in now for this live and those who will review it later. We appreciate you all and God bless. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.